Sheesh, that's loud. Okay. Hopefully my volume is on. Yes, it shows on. All right. Let's go over some tools here. Thinking about your word drawing. So this is all at the end of your PowerPoint here for this project. Come down to this side where we go over project tools. All right. First thing here, we can add a font into Illustrator. There's two simple ways that we can do that. One, we can just use Adobe Fonts. Okay. I already have that opened up. But if you don't know where that's at, you need to open up your Creative Cloud, the little rainbow app, remember? I just typed it in here for a quick find. Pops it up, looks like this guy here, Adobe Fonts. You're gonna hit launch. It is a website. That's what that guy is telling you. Once you hop on that website, there's lots of different things here. We can see the home page. I don't think it has many fonts in here. It has a few different popular fonts. I don't usually use the home page. Go to all fonts, which is super nice because it has different tags over here, which helps you narrow down what you're looking for. It pops up with some of the popular ones again over here. Different classifications. So whatever you're looking for, it kind of groups it out. Just think of it like shopping. Whatever you want, you can click it here and it will pull different things up for you. If you need more families within a font, we'll do that for you too. Let's just say I want something funky. Let's say I want it mono. Nope, no mono. Sans serif. Oh yeah, I had sans serif. Perfect. So it pops up different things here. This one's pretty cool. You click on that guy. It shows me here. It's only one font in this family, which is fine. It will always show you kind of a default text here. The quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. And then you'll just toggle this activate font here, and it should pop up in Adobe. Oh, down here it should pop up and say it's been added. Let me know if it says that it didn't. Okay. Interesting. We'll have to double check that. Should add there. We'll get that problem squared away. This is a really great, easy way to add fonts. Another way we can do it is just finding a free font from the web. Okay. You're going to download it to your computer. So I have a website opened here. If you are ever going to do something commercial where you're going to print this, sell it, read the rights. Sometimes it will download with the font. Sometimes it will just be on this page. Just make sure, see license for personal and commercial use. Always read the details there if you're going to sell something, if you're doing anything of that nature. Let's go ahead. Say I want this one, orange juice, and hit download. It's going to pop up over here. It's going to show up in a zipped file. So I'm going to open my file explorer here. I go to my downloads. You can see I already downloaded one. Here's this guy. I'm going to double click on it. It has two files in here. This is probably the license rules. We don't need to read them unless you're going to sell this or something, then read it over. But for now, I just need to open up the font that I want. I'm going to double click on it. Let it load here. That way I'm not rushing it. Then we're going to simply hit install. It will pop up with like a loading screen. It should install pretty quick. It will kind of gray out whenever it's done. I'm going to minimize that, minimize that. All right, let's hop on here. We'll go ahead and type something out to see if that font is in here. Type in Bug Juice. Highlight it. Properties over here. Okay, I think it was called Orange Juice. We go down to my O's. Here we are. Okay, so it's pretty simple, not too complicated to install and get a font put in here. Just make sure you read, if you are ever doing anything commercial, read that license agreement. Make sure you're going to be okay if you use somebody else's font. Pretty simple to kind of download that. get that guy put in there. Okay. Those are two easy ways to download a font into Illustrator. This option too should just pop it into Illustrator. We'll have to check and see if that is working. Next thing here, we can separate individual letters. I'll show you kind of how to do that here. So let's say, go ahead and grab this guy. I have this one here. And I want to separate my letters, right? Let me make it big really quick. Make it bigger. That way you can kind of see what's going on. Pull this out. Move this over. Okay. So what we need to do is you'll type your word out. I already have my example word in. We're gonna go to Window and open up our Pathfinder. So I have my word typed out here. I would go up. You can search it or you can go into Window. I search it a lot. There's this guy. You'll click on it and it will pop up over here. I already have mine open, or I did earlier. It's gone now. Go ahead and open it up again. There it goes. It may not open up here at the top. It may open in the middle of your screen down here. You can click and drag it over here just to kind of keep it out of the way and keep it organized. But that will be good to have open here in a little bit. Next, we need to select our text. We're going to right click on it and click on the option that says Create Outlines. So you'll right click, go down, select Create Outlines. There it is. Okay. So we can already see as we toggle over it, it's kind of already separated those letters, which is super nice. We're going to ungroup them just to double check and make sure not all of them always ungroup them. It looks like the one I used did. Right click again, ungroup. Now you can see that I can move the letters separately and they're no longer connected. We can use that white arrow, the direct selection tool, to kind of shift our anchor points around and show you what that looks like in here. Okay, let's click on the B here. I will zoom in. You can see as a lot of anchor points when I did that. Wow, that is a lot. Maybe not the best example fonts, but we'll work with it. So I could select a bunch of these top. Ooh, a lot of them are connected too. Let me show you a different font. If you pick a font with a lot of anchor points, this may not be the tool for you. We can change some aspects. So I highlighted the top here. I'm just hitting the up arrow on my keyboard to kind of change how that moves around all those points. Let me show you the back of the B. That might work better on this one. Go down. Let me hit the out arrow. Okay, this is a little bit better. So you can see I can toggle that really far over, right? I can toggle it back in just using those arrow keys on my keyboard. Bring it in really skinny, bring it back out. I can make it a little bit thicker. Once I get to a certain point, though, it looks a little bit crazy, right? That's a really nice way to kind of alter letters, though. I could bring that down a little bit, make it droopy. I could do the same thing with these guys over here. Bring that up. Looks kind of wonky, right? It's a nice way to just make small adjustments if you need to make something wider. It works best on flatter areas, obviously. Probably not down here. Whoa. Where did my... Here we go. Okay, so the white arrow, the direct selection tool, is good for that, kind of shifting things up or down, right? We can also overlap the letters and do this tool called the minus front. I'll show you that. Let's go back in there. We'll overlap some. I'll zoom back out. I'm going to show you. Let's do it on this guy. No, let's see if it works on this one. I should have picked a simpler tool, but we'll see what happens. Oh, make sure you're out of your direct selection. Go back to your black arrow. So I'm just going to overlap these guys. Put this one down a little bit. There we go. Move this one up. Put this one down. This one up. This one down. This one up. this one down. Okay, so they're all overlapping, which is really nice. The next thing we need to do is we're gonna copy a letter. So let's say U here. Gonna Control C, Control V. I take it, I'm gonna place it almost back where it was. I'm just gonna off center it a little bit here. I'm not gonna select the U behind it. I'm gonna hold the Shift key and select the letter next to it. Go up here. This is called the minus font. You click on it, and it usually creates like this little opening next to your letter. It's a little bit weird with this one. I'll show you up here on this example I was working with earlier. You can see I've created little spaces between my letters using that minus font. It does it also down here, just a little bit wonkier because of all the paths. Let's see that opening. Let's try it again with the G, just for funsies. Control C, Control V. I'm gonna line that guy back up. We'll off center a little bit. Back down. I don't need to grab the G behind it, just the letter next to it. Click that minus font. Yeah, so it kind of creates that weird opening, a little bit of a gap, which is a nice effect for certain things. Really simple tool, very easy to do if you need a gap, just to space things, whoops, back out. Down, Shift, let's show you one more here. Okay, this one didn't do it as well, right? Didn't really come up. So it's also going to depend on your font. Kind of a weird effect. Works better for the solid ones, I would say. All right. So those are different ways to kind of separate our letters into individual objects that we can move around, kind of stack up. So I started with this font in my example earlier. Was able to kind of alter them, shifting up and down with my keys on my keyboard, overlapping them, and using that minus font to create spaces in between them. Another thing we can do is distort our fonts, which is really, really easy. Here I said effect, warp, choose your player. That's really all there is to it. So we'll type something out. My example down here is sleepyhead. You'll go to effect, warp, and there's so many different options, okay? I only showed you a few here. So let's go back in there. Let's take this guy, type something here. Come on. Zoom. Do bubble gum. Don't know if bubble gum is one word or not. That doesn't matter. Okay, we have our word here. Make sure you go back to your black arrow before you do this. Sometimes will work if you're in the text or type tool, but not all the time. I don't know why. Edit. Sorry, I just got a text. Okay, sorry. Effect, not edit. Okay. Effect, warp. We have lots of different options here. Most time I see people arc their words over something. Bolds just makes it big like this. Fish makes it kind of look like a fish. Squeeze and twist do kind of crazy things. It gets hard to read. I'll show you arc right now. So we can bend it. Oh, it's not bending it. What's going on, buddy? Effect, warp. Okay, there we go. We can bend it one way or the other. We can kind of straighten it back out if we needed to. It's perfect on both sides. You can change the horizontal tilt of it, and same with the vertical tilt. Make it go really far one way, make it really big that way, or really small, really big, back down to really small. So just play around with it. It can do interesting things. All right, it's flipping my word. My U's upside down here, my M, my U. I'll flip it back. It's right side up. We have other ones over here. Effect. Flag makes it kind of weird, flag-like. Shell kind of does that weird shell. Again, you can bend it more, less, however you need it to go. Show you one more here. effect more. Let's do, we'll do squeeze. So kind of squeezes the middle here. We hit bend, goes back in the other way and squeezes from this angle. Bring it back. And pull both sides on the horizontal, pull them on the vertical here. So it can do kind of crazy things. Put this guy down here. That is handy for some simple word distortions if you need to do so. So effect warp, choose your player. We can also use Illustrator to take a word and try to form it into that shape. Some fonts will work better for matching a shape than others. This first font here didn't do a great job, right? You can see it kind of go down to that point, dipping down, but it doesn't really fill this whole area. Where some of the other fonts, these weirder, thicker fonts, do a better job at that. So, again, you will make your text a shape, or you'll make your text. You can change the font now, or you can do it after. I like to do it before just to see if it's gonna work or not. If not, then I go ahead and change it up after. Either way. So let's go back in there. Let's use this guy. Let's make him normal again. Let's draw a shape. Use my curvature tool here. Let's make a, see if it can fill this very well. Okay, so I'll make that my shape. I'm gonna turn on a stroke and turn off. Well, I guess we can leave the fill on. You can turn your fill off or leave it on. I've always left it on at 50%. I know some people that turn it off. Either way is fine. You just need to make sure that when you are filling your shape here with a word, that your shape is on top of your word. So right now my word is above my shape, right? So I'm just gonna make sure that my shape is on top. Okay, it doesn't have to fit up perfectly. If I had both of them selected like this, it will still work. I just do this because I'm weird. Okay, so let's select both of them. Select. We're gonna go to edit. Nope, we're gonna go to object. Sorry, I think everything's under edit. Envelope distort. And then we're gonna make it with the top object, which is why that shape is on top there. You can see it did a pretty good job here, matching up, trying to get in there. This part didn't go well into there. It comes out a little bit, but we could push it back in if we need to. You may have to make adjustments as you're working and filling shapes, but it does a pretty good job at quickly, roughly filling it in for you. Oh, freaking. Okay. So that's there, and then if you need to change the font again, you can. I started with this one and changed it a few times. Thicker fonts do a better job than some of these thinner fonts. It also depends on how much you need it to fill. We can also fill in a shape with a source image. So let's grab a source image here. Bubblegum image. Let's do this one. Save image as. Oh, it's a web file. Freaking course it is. Okay, perfect. This one is not. I'm just gonna title it here, save it. Gonna hop back into Illustrator, File, Place. Grab that image. We don't need to click any of this. Sometimes if you just want to outline something, you can click template and it will kind of fade it into the background for you. We don't need to do that right now. So I have it. I'm just gonna place it. I'm gonna take it. Oh, I need to move it to its own layer here. Perfect. Let's go ahead and make this tinier so I see more of the bubblegum pieces behind my word. Bubblegum. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and lock that guy just like so. So what we need to do for this guy is we're going to select the shape that we want, or the text in this case that we need it to fill. We're going to go to Object, Expand, okay? Click on my text, Object, Expand. Both of these should be checked here, Object and Fill. Hit OK. So now we've done that. Next thing we need to do here is we're going to go into View and hit Outline. This is just checking to make sure that each letter now has an individual stroke. So it'll kind of look like a coloring book page. Back in there. View, Outline. So yep, we can see outside of it. See the sleepyhead? I haven't done that to it, so it's still filled in here. This guy shows us that it's all open. I'm going to go back into View. Turn this back on so I can see what the heck I'm doing. Now I need to go into Object, hit Compound Path, and then Make. Object, down to Compound Path, Make. Okay. And now we need to unlock, if your background image is locked, we're going to unlock it and then select both the image and the text. All right. Oh, I keep doing that. Bring this back up. There we go. So my text is already selected. I'm going to unlock this. Shift, select that image. Okay. And then the final magic step here. So we're going to go back into Object, go to Clipping Mask, and hit Make. So they're both selected still. Object, Clipping Mask, Make. You can see, like magic here, my text as filled in with the image that was behind it. Pretty cool, right? Bubblegum. Okay. I'm gonna back out here. Oops, I meant to show you this one before. Oh, it's okay. Show you now. So putting it all together, you're gonna need to find a reference image. I think most of you have one at this point. The example here is a hand for reference, depending on what your theme is, all right? You're going to trace it on Illustrator. So you want to break it down into parts, okay? You want each part to be its own individual object, having its own path, okay? That way it will fill in with these letters, just like I showed you. You're going to use envelope distort, the trick that we talked about, where you fill in the shape with that word, your text. That's what's been done here with the hand. We can separate the letters just like I showed you too, if you need to kind of make adjustments as needed. And then if you want to use that background, you can. You can also just go back in after you separate your letters to make each its own individual color there. Whatever you need to do, you can put a gradient in on each individual letter. This is a very fun, easy trick. You can even, I have this one down here, different source image. So yes, this is putting it all together to create that word drawing on Illustrator. If you have questions, let me know. Hopefully this all makes sense here. Hopefully this guy works. If it doesn't, we'll figure it out. All right.